do it on a MIDI keyboard, you know, you just make your channels, map each channel to a note. You have the knobs inside for filters, for reverb, you know, and if you start playing, you just put in your loops, put in your samples, put in your sounds, use the knobs to filter, manipulate it, and get a different sound instead of working with a mouse, clicking, and you know, takes you hours. Takes hours. If you're standing behind something and twisting something, it feels more real, you know? Instead of clicking and writing something down. And most of the producers I know, they get fed up with that. So they want to have some live input into their production. And this is my way of putting a live input into the production. So this is the map track. Let me check. So I made an Ableton, I use Ableton for production. I used to use Logic, Cubase, all these other programs. I know Fruity Loops, I know Reason. I know all of it, but I stick to Ableton because it's a fast workflow. It's, you can improvise a lot. You know, you can work your ideas out quickly, and it takes less of clicks than Logic, for example, or Cubase. The only program that's better in pitching is Cubase. So if you want to use pitching a lot, you know, use Cubase. Because that pitching in Cubase is non-destructive. If you use Ableton pitch or transpose, it will get destructive and the harmonics will go out of tune and you'll have a worse example than where you start with. So, this is for example the sample. So, well, kicks on the fit. So I had some temperings, some shakers. You see, just press the keys and more things add up. Then I can switch the sample. Just switching the sample right now. That's why I do now. I can do some effects, you know, read it on it with enough. So in the sample we can kick in some hi-hats, very simple. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, just sampling a lot of vinyl, cutting them up in a different way than you're supposed to hear it, flip them, and trying to do it in a housey way, and you know, explore the whole jazz side, the whole 70s side again, you know, in the house. And a lot of cats are like missing out on this, you know, or when I'm seeing them. And it's my way of working. Just sampling a lot, putting things together. for my own percussion, lots of layering. I do lots of layering. I like maybe use 5 kicks, like the transient kick. I use a low kick, an 808 kick, 909 kick. Just filter them, you know. For example, I can show you when I try to make a kick. For example, you can use like a transient. I'll show you. One sec. Because the kick drum is the most important, right? Okay. So I've got a tape kick. It's run through a SSL table, and I've got like cassette tapes with kicks. I've got like I sample also through cassette to get that fatness and get that dirtiness. You know, I like distortion. I like saturation. Don't like things too clean. You know, want to have it a little bit rough and raw. And if things start to sound too clinic, yeah, for me it's not the way to go. You know, if there are mistakes in it, like little glitches, like things that, you know, make you go think, that's exactly the thing what I want to do, because you keep thinking that. If something is too clean, you run with your mind through the whole track, and then at the end you say, okay, it's a nice track. But with my tracks, it's most like, what's happening here, what's happening there, you know, you get. The intention is to make it a little bit of wrong and right, you know, don't be right all the time, because you have to make mistakes to be creative, you know, you have to find different ways, and if you make mistakes, sometimes something good comes out of it, sometimes something bad comes out of it, it's nature. Yeah, the kick. So I've got this kick right here. It's a very simple kick. What I try to do is layer a transient on it. So I put like 4 kicks right now. One second. 4 times 4 beat, very simple. Yeah, very simple. You hear the vinyl noise? Yeah. But able to, you can, with this kick right now running, if I'm not happy, I'll just do this. So I can switch very fast, you know. I can see which ones fit in my mind at that moment, you know. These are very good kicks, by the way, so don't expect that you have these kicks. You have to find them by sampling from records, like for example. So I've got this low kick. It misses the punch for me, because I'll filter it like this. Everything below 250 Hertz, always do mono. Don't use kick stereo, it's not the way to do it. Also with the bass, for example, always do mono bass, of course. Now, I'll put a transient on top of this. It's like a trigger from a 99, so it's like a tick, click, very simple. Hold on. Let me check. Okay, transients. These are the transients. They're like little clicks, but when you pitch them low, for example, and you pitch them, of course, you get that high, the low kick, and then the bottom you want to have. Depends on what monitors you got, because the monitors are very important. If you use headphones or like shitty monitors, you won't actually hear the pitching or the bottom, you know. For me, the hertz between 40 and 60 hertz is very important, because you get the full kick there from 80 to 200, for example. These are all mastering things, but I used to read a whole book called Art of Mixing by David Gibson, and I read the whole book, and yeah, some things stick, some things go. You know, you can use like a map that shows you what kind of frequencies belong to a kick or a snare or a bass or like a piano. Piano is very difficult to mix. Lots of people like to use a piano, but it's very difficult to put in the mix, because if the piano is not doing its thing, the rest will do its thing. It's a very simple instrument, but the most difficult to mix. Yeah. So just pitch low, because the samples like this normally should be like this. You know, and I'll pitch it lower, like. So I've got that instant good kick, and then I use the bass line. I use, for example, I can use like operator or sample bass line. So for example, I've got this operator now, very high. See, it's very low now, a bit too hard. You see, like a sub. It's just a sine wave, and you just pitch it, and you just try to make the kick fit with the bass, and try to make it smooth. That's the most important thing with the whole dance thing, the kick and the bass. You know, if the kick and the bass is not well, the rest is not well, most of the time. Yeah, just pitch, play some things. You can use instruments to make your bass lines, but I prefer using an operator or like a plugin or something like that. Or sample vinyl for bass lines, I can use that also. For example, I've got lots of samples to show from Mike Huckabee. I don't know if people know Mike, or Rick Wade, or the old Deep House cats. Let me show you. These are like instant proper chords. Yeah. Check. You see? So you want to make Deep House? It's very easy, just put this one in and for example, but it's what you do at the end of the day with it. See? So I just pitched it, different chord, like that. And you just put a beat beneath it. Okay, let me do a quick track. How long do I have got? 15 minutes? Yeah? Okay. Just do it very simple, make a beat in 5 minutes. So this is looping right now. Then I'll get a kick. Or maybe I get Rick's Ray drums. 1 second. So let's pitch it lower. 115. But it's from a vinyl record, so you can do whatever you want with it. You can pitch it, flip it, break it, do whatever you want. For example, I can do a bigger beat. See, you can just flip the beat. Yeah. From this beat, we can also make like a sound of it, you know, like using a vocoder. So I've got this beat and I've got the synth, so I want to incorporate the synth with the drums, for example. Now there's a vocoder on it, so it sounds shit. So we use external sound, that's the synth, of course. You see? So this is the synth you heard before, and now the drums are playing like the synth. So you've got a new melody here together. See, it's different. Before it was just drums. So if I put the drums clean to it next to this one, they will start to bounce. Comes in. Very simple. Different groups. These are all from Rick Wade. Yeah. I can layer now my own kicks underneath it, for example. When I use kicks, I use the 808 and 909 or like vinyl kicks, disco kicks. You know, disco kicks are